Good evening, viewers. You're watching 7 at 7, the only news bulletin where I curate the day's top 7 stories for our viewers. I'm Preeti Chaudhary. These are the headlines. Opposition guns for Modi government after words like corrupt, jumla jeevi, sexual harassment banned in parliament. Government sources counter opposition, says list is a suggestion, not an order. Bihar cops uncover plot to target Prime Minister Modi during his July 12th Patna visit. The module planned to make India an Islamic nation by 2047. 2 arrested PFI pamphlets recovered. After Pythagoras Rao, explosive midday meal Nataka in Karnataka, education panel proposes to ban eggs and meat in meals, citing health issues. Torrential rain triggers deluge, destruction and death. Situation remains grim in Telangana, Kerala and Gujarat. Singer Daler Mehendi arrested after Patiala court upholds his conviction in a 2003 illegal immigration racket. Sri Lankan fury and frustration on the streets. Military asks for political resolution. Gotabaya Rajapaksa now flees to Singapore. Next destination to be Jeddah. In midst of chorus to drop Virat Kohli, the BCCI has not included former Indian captain in India's T20 squad for West Indies. Top focus, viewers. Let's cut across to the state of Bihar, to Patna. The Patna police has now busted a terror module fronted by none else but the PFI. This is the latest.
Chilling Kill Modi plot. A terror module out to target the Prime Minister's July 12 Patna rally, when the Prime Minister was on a brief visit to Bihar. Links to radical Islamist groups like Simi and PFI have emerged. A larger conspiracy unearthed to establish an Islamic India by 2047. Patna police has busted a terror cell and arrested 2 accused. One of them is Mohammad Jalaluddin, a retired sub-inspector of Jharkhand police. The other one is Athar Parvez, brother of a 2013 Patna bomb blast accused, who had then targeted Modi's campaign rally.
मोहम्मद जलालुद्दीन ने बताया है कि वो अतहर परवेज, जिनका हिस्ट्री बहुत ही दागदार रहा है, वो सिमी के एक्टिव मेंबर रहे हैं। पिछले 2 सालों से पीएफआई और एसडीपीआई के आड़ में कॉवर्ट ऑपरेशन कर रहे थे, लोगों को रेडिकलाइज कर रहे थे।
But it was not just Modi who was on target. As per cops, the terrorists were part of a larger plot to change India into an Islamic state with a 2047 deadline. The objective was to establish Islamic rule in the country and restore the status snatched away by the British when they conquered India and dethroned the Muslim rulers.
उनके विजन में ही टर्की का उल्लेख है कि जो इस्लाम के बियरर्स हैं, फ्लैग बियरर्स हैं, अगर स्टैंड ऑफ की स्थिति आती है स्टेट के साथ तो उसकी मदद लेंगे।
तो 2047 तक भारत को इस्लामिक मुल्क बनाने की इनकी मंशा है उस डॉक्यूमेंट के हिसाब से।
मैं ये नहीं कह सकता हूं, बट डॉक्यूमेंट्स जो रिकवर्ड हुआ है उसमें तो यही लिखा है।
This is the PFI flag in large numbers. It has been seized. Apart from that, several incriminating documents here relating to SDPI. You see here, these are documents, incriminating documents relating to SDPI, how SDPI used to help. This is the membership form of SDPI, how you can enroll yourself, become a member of this party, of this organization, rather, Social Democratic Party of India. And all this clearly goes on to show that the suspected terrorists were planning something really big, and Prime Minister's Patna visit was on the radar.
The conspirators plan to enlist support of India's 10% Muslim population and Islamic countries like Turkey to achieve their sinister objective.
इनके जो भी ऑफिस बियरर्स हैं और जो भी इनके मेंबर्स थे, क्योंकि उनकी हम लोगों को सूचना प्राप्त हुई है, हम लोगों को डॉक्यूमेंट्स मिले हैं कि कमेटी में कौन कौन था, और उनमें से बहुत से लोग नामजद भी हुए हैं और उनके हम लोग बैंक अकाउंट्स और जितने भी उनके फाइनेंशियल ट्रांजैक्शंस हुई हैं कम से कम पिछले 1 साल में, उसकी हम लोग जांच करवाएंगे।
As per cops, the accused also did a dress rehearsal, training for 15 days to practice the attack on Modi's rally. The accused say they were merely running an NGO. The cops, however, have unearthed terror funding to the tune of 83 lakh rupees and ample proof that youth from Kerala, Bengal, UP, Tamil Nadu and many other states were coming to get terror training with the accused.
More searches, more raids are being carried out. The police, the Patna police is also contacting several other state police from where what we have learned that several youth from in those states were also coming to this training center in Patna. So massive terror module has been busted by the Patna police and investigations have in this case have just begun and more arrests are likely to take place in next few days. With camera person Adil, this is Rohit Singh in Patna for India Today.
Here's in a very interesting turn of events. Let's cut across to this news break that is coming in. The SSP Patna, who addressed a press conference regarding the busting of this terror module, has now been issued a show cause notice. The reason why? Because in the press conference, the SSP compared the PFI to the RSS. Now, he's been show caused by none else but the Patna police. The Patna police has show caused its own SSP, saying, why did you compare the RSS to the PFI? He's been given 48 hours notice to come out and explain his comparison. Connecting to my colleague Rohit Singh, who's joining us with the very latest. Rohit, rather interesting. The SSP was the man who was addressing a press conference after busting of this terror module in Patna. Now he stands show caused himself because he used the word or the statement where he said the PFI is like the RSS.
Well, Preeti, that's what's the case is right now, because what I believe is that Patna SSP Manavjit Singh Dhillon had absolutely no business to compare a PFI with RSS, and he should have focused on the investigation that is going on in the terror module that has been busted in Patna. But I think he crossed his line and he went on to compare a PFI with RSS, and for that now the police headquarters has taken this matter extremely
Who says he crossed the line and he should not have made that comparison? Who says this?
BJP is telling that he has crossed the line, he shouldn't have made this kind of a comparison, and several BJP leaders have come out, they are giving out statements against the SSP, they are tweeting on this entire issue. In fact, firebrand BJP leader Haribhushan Thakur and also Arvind Kumar Singh, several BJP leaders have said that the SSP of Patna has crossed the line, and that is why the Nitish government should take action against him. The Pachol also went on to say that the SSP has lost his mental balance, and
Rohit, who has even show caused by the Patna police itself?
No, by the Bihar police headquarters, by the ADG JS Gangwar. He has been issued a show cause notice for which he has to reply in the next 48 hours as to why did he make this kind of a comparison of.
All right, okay, Rohit, appreciate you joining us. We're going to continue to come back to you. My colleague Rohit Singh reporting that the Bihar police headquarters has now show caused its own SSP Patna for using the analogy, or rather in the same phrase, comparison between the RSS and the PFI. While addressing the press conference, the SSP Patna had said the PFI is like the RSS. Well, now he stands show caused by the Bihar police, asking why did he make this comparison. With that, let's shift focus to the other big news that we are tracking very closely, and this comes in from Rajasthan, the Ajmer Dargah. Now, the continuing streak of the Khadims who are attendants at the Ajmer Dargah, the hate-mongering continues. Syed Adil Chishti, the son of Sarwar Chishti, has mocked Hindu gods. In a controversial remark, Adil Chishti mocked the incarnation of Lord Vishnu and called it illogical. He also said Lord Hanuman is bizarre, that there is an incarnation of God in the form of animals. BJP and Vishwa Hindu Parishad has taken offence and demanded Rajasthan government arrest him. Adil Chishti, father Sarwar Chishti, defends his son, saying that his comments were cherry-picked and have been taken out of context.
सवाल करना चाहता हूं नुपुर शर्मा से कि 333 करोड़ खुदाओं का एग्जिस्टेंस फिर कैसे माना जाएगा? ये कैसे लॉजिकल है? अकॉर्डिंग टू हिंदू माइथोलॉजी विष्णु जी के 10 अवतार हैं, 10 अवतार। उनमें से कुछ इनकारनेशन जानवरों वाले हैं और कुछ इनकारनेशन ऐसे हैं जो आधे इंसान और आधे जानवर हैं। तो प्लीज नुपुर शर्मा मुझे बताएं कि ये 10 अवतार ये क्या लॉजिकल है, ये प्रैक्टिकल है? हनुमान जी, उनका वजूद, उनका एग्जिस्टेंस कैसे साबित करेंगे आप? श्री गणेश जी, उनका एग्जिस्टेंस कैसे साबित करेंगे आप?
If you go through video now, the proper video, it's fully of academic excellence, secularism, and that the thing they have picked from that is cherry picking and is out of context. You go through that proper video, then you will come to know. He has replied in literary sense, academically, the questions raised by Nupur Sharma regarding Islam, regarding Buraq, regarding our the Prophet went to Jerusalem to heaven. These were the questions by Nupur, and he has given the literary answer to it. And also he has said that those persons who believe in miracles and Almighty.
All right, please, let's move on now. Shift focus to Karnataka. The new education policy proposal papers have created a huge controversy in Karnataka. The reason which, well, it has suggested keeping non-vegetarian foods, eggs and meat out of the midday meal program. The proposal says serving eggs to school children in midday meals will lead to discrimination between students. Curiously, the proposal says given the small body frame of Indians and extra energy provided through cholesterol, regular consumption of eggs and meats will lead to lifestyle disorders. Reports earlier claimed that the NFP proposal has questioned the Pythagoras theorem as well. Congress slammed Bommai government over the controversy, calling it an attempt to saffronize the system. State Minister Ashwath Narayanan played down the controversy, terming the proposal just a suggestion.
The whole education system today is controlled by RSS ideologues. You know, they want to saffronize the whole education system. The NEP suggestions, the papers which have been in the public domain now, is not surprising, because this RSS ideology very clearly is sectarian. It's targeted at a few people, and they want the whole society to follow what they believe in. So if they are vegetarians, they want the whole society to be vegetarians. I mean, what kind of scientists they are, I don't understand. It lacks common sense, it lacks logic, and it is not the fact scientifically.
I have not gone through any of these reports because it has been handled by my colleague with regard to the primary and secondary education. It has been handled by my colleague B.C. Nagesh. Let me see what has been mentioned, what is suitable, what not. So if the panel is going through the preparation and has submitted, let me go through the report and the recommendation. Let us discuss. See, whatever it is there, it will be always in the public domain. Whatever is suitable for the people, whatever is relevant, whatever needs to be done, suitable things will be done by our government.
Yes, what's interesting in all of this is, just to give you the figure, Karnataka government has given a proposal that non-vegetarian be removed because it could cause lifestyle issue with high cholesterol where kids are concerned. India ranks the worst where malnutrition of kids are concerned. Just food for thought. I want to cut across now and get you the very latest in terms of the monsoon raining fury, especially in the state of Uttarakhand. Take a look at this report.
Monsoon mayhem across the country. The impact is felt even more severely in hills where incessant rains and floods have disrupted connectivity, hindered supply lines and made rescue operations more challenging. At Karnaprayag in Uttarakhand, the national highway has caved in due to the rains.
the ground zero, India today is showing you as to how the National Highway 58, this all-weather road, is now being repaired after this particular stretch, nearly 80-meter long stretch got caved in this morning, and because of this, traffic movement was completely choked in this area. However, you could see the administration has now made efforts to ensure that at least traffic movement in one lane happens.
Devotees on their way to the Badrinath shrine are stuck in the middle of nowhere. The repeated instances on road cave-ins have raised questions about the safety and quality of these all-weather roads.
नहीं, इनका सेफ्टी का भी कोई मेजर नहीं है। ये कई जगह इन्होंने जो चट्टानों को काटा है और उनको झूलती चट्टानों को वैसे ही छोड़ दिया गया है, तो उनसे आज भी कई जगह बड़े बड़े पत्थर गिर रहे हैं। मॉर्निंग में भी जब या रात को जब बारिश यहाँ पे हो रही है तो बड़े बड़े बोल्डर, ऊपर से जो झूलते बोल्डर हैं वो नीचे आ जाते हैं, तो कई जगह गाड़ियां के ऊपर वो गिरे हैं, लोग उनमें मरे भी हैं, दबे भी हैं कई जगह।
जैसी पहले प्रॉब्लम हुआ करती थी वो प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, लेकिन गुणवत्ता के साथ कहीं ना कहीं इन्होंने समझौता किया है बहुत बड़ा। हम तो जिस समय बन रहा था हमने उसी समय कहा था ये बिना आधार के बन रही है, कभी न कभी तो गिरेगी गिरेगी, और बहस भी हुई, उन्होंने कहा गिर ही नहीं सकती है, तो हमने कहा 1-2 साल के अंतर्गत देख लेना।
तो सबसे पहले हमने ट्रैफिक डाइल्यूशन के लिए हमने वर्क किया और उसको सफल करने के बाद ट्रैफिक अभी आप देख रहे हैं कि स्मूथली मूवमेंट हो रहा है। रही बात टेक्निकल इसकी फैक्टर की, किस वजह से कोलैप्स हुआ है, तो इस पर तो कहना भी हमारे लिए औचित्य नहीं है, बिकॉज इसके लिए जो भी रिक्वायरमेंट फॉर इन्वेस्टिगेशन के लिए जो इसकी मटेरियल थी वो हमने अपने टेक्निकल हाई कमेटी को भेज दिया है।
Businesses that generally thrive during the busy tourism season have also taken a hit.
इसमें तो बहुत असर, जब यात्री नहीं होंगे तो असर इस पे पड़ेगा ही, निश्चित रूप से पड़ेगा।
बिजनेस डाउन
बिल्कुल 80% डाउन है, देख ही रहे हैं आप, जो है 2 दिन से बिल्कुल खाली पड़े हैं होटल, पूरे जो है गिने चुने लोग आ रहे हैं और डर की वजह से, बेसिकली डर की वजह से यात्री नहीं आ रहे हैं।
In Balganga Valley, villages are cut off as floods swept away a 150-meter road. This is one of the main routes for Kawad Yatris walking from Gangotri to Kedarnath.
Monsoon continues to lash in various parts of Uttarakhand, and right now we are in Pura Kedar area of Tiri district. As you can see, the river is in spate. This is Dharmganga river which is in spate right now, and it has washed away the road. You can see at our behind, it is 150 meters road which has been swept away by Dharmganga river, and due to that 3 villages in this area have been cut off.
खाद्यान्न के लिए जो है ऑलरेडी हमारा वहाँ पर को अगस्त तक का खाद्यान्न पहुँच चुका है, बट हमने ये कहा है कि अभी चूँकि बरसात लगातार रहेगी तो अगले माह भी के लिए, सितंबर के लिए भी राशन जो है कल ये वहाँ से पैदल रास्ता वैकल्पिक मार्ग खोल रहे हैं, वहाँ से फिर हम उसको जो 3 गांव हमारे विशेष रूप से वहाँ पर प्रभावित हैं वहाँ पर ये पहुँच जाएगा।
तो उसके चक्कर से 3 गांव बहुत प्रभावित हैं, जो जिन्हें घर में रहने के लिए मजबूर होना पड़ रहा है, और खासकर जो इंटर कॉलेज कोटिया गुंडा है और टीचरों के लिए आने जाने के लिए बहुत दिक्कतें आ रही है सर।
यही समस्या है कि आवाजाही की समस्या बहुत हो रही है, स्कूल भी है, स्कूल बच्चों की भी दिक्कत होगी, और कोई टीचर लोग, कावड़ी लोगों की भी दिक्कत होगी, टीचर लोग हैं उनकी भी समस्या होगी।
In Narendranagar, commuters on their way to Joshimath faced multiple landslides.
हम मौजूद हैं नरेंद्र नगर चंबा रोड पे। यहाँ तेज बारिश की वजह से आप देख सकते हैं कि किस तरीके से यहाँ पर मलबा रोड पे आ गया है ये।
The Met Department has issued orange alert in Uttarakhand. It has projected more rains for the hill state. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, we are shifting focus to the latest in the Sri Lankan crisis. Rajapaksa Gotabaya from Maldives reportedly has now fled to Singapore, while complete chaos where Sri Lanka is concerned.
Once the powerful president of Sri Lanka, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, is now scurrying for safety, hopping from one island after another. After escaping Lanka in the dead of the night on an Air Force plane and landing in Malé, Gotabaya took to a Saudi Airlines plane to Singapore on Thursday, fleeing Maldivian capital Malé, which hosted him for 2 days. As per Maldives government, the disgraced Lankan president may finally head to Jeddah in Saudi Arabia. away from the wrath of agitated Lankan citizens on warpath over misrule and economic turmoil. Colombo, meanwhile, remains tense. Military armoured personal carriers were seen patrolling the troubled streets, keeping watch on protesters.
In this location itself, there are 3 tiers of protection. First by Sri Lankan police, the second by Sri Lankan army, and the third one is there, the armored vehicles which are also moving inside. This is also raising a lot of issues with the protesters who are questioning that when there are no fuel for the public, how come these heavy armored vehicles are getting their fuels?
The military choppers which hovered about troubled spots on Wednesday are continuing their low-flying sorties. As per military media, forces have been empowered to enforce law and order to protect people, public property and lives. After another late-night standoff with security forces outside Speaker's house, the protesters relented, agreeing to vacate the Gaul-phase landmarks in fortified Temple Tree area, including the presidential house and office and residence of the Prime Minister. Meanwhile, there is no end to the economic crisis gripping Lanka.
Cooking gas is something really very essential, but because of the supplies worst affected for next month, be it the petrol, be it the diesel or the cooking gas, every day these women are forced to queue in line facing the heat and the humidity. When supply is affected, their kitchen affected, their families affected, and that has forced them to hit the street against the government.
3 people, including a protester, a police official, a military personnel, have been killed in the standoff and 84 others have been injured. Acting President Ranil Wickremesinghe has asked the Speaker to appoint a caretaker Prime Minister who will oversee possible polls. With Ashutosh Mishra and Pramod Madhav in Colombo, Bureau Report, India Today.
You're watching a fact-check segment where we bust certain claims masquerading to be facts on social media platform and WhatsApp group. There's a claim floating about suggesting that WHO has said that COVID is nowhere near us. Incorrect. The fact check on that, viewers. WHO has said COVID is nowhere near over. Completely different, opposite of what is being circulated.